Oh, hello there. Yes, well, we are indeed trundling our way towards the end of the week. I am very, very pleased to say. Phew, yes. Anyway, we managed to make it this far, what with peace deals, possibly, and the glorious news, of course, that various of our glorious internets, webs, and social medias are going to basically fire a whole bunch of people who are a bit superfluous to need, particularly fact checkers. The spurious notion, perhaps, that not having fact checkers will make things more factual, but there are certain things in the world that we can definitely know are certainly true. It's just that there are perverse and evil people out there that will twist people's words. And I thought it was a classic example of this with Nigel Farage, a great friend of the channel, who posted this up. He was commenting on a post by Madi Zadan, who had gone through the sort of swearing-in ceremony, one might say, to become a British citizen, and he posted this. Yesterday I became British. I thought the ceremony would be nationalistic and a bit cringe until the Lord Mayor of Brighton started his speech with Al Samanu Alaikum. Yes, indeed, which is just, his way of making everyone feel safe and home. But Nigel had put up everything British is being trashed. Now, what we know about Nigel, factually, of course, is that he isn't in any way, shape or form racist or xenophobic. So, unfortunately, various people I think have got hold of the wrong end of this. I think what Nigel was doing, given his knowledge of, Regency architecture in and around the town hall in Brighton from about 1830, I do believe. Yes, indeed. I think what he was basically saying was the juxtaposition there of the panelling with the flags and the rather awkward positioning of the picture of the king, in the sense that probably wasn't the correct way to go about it. I don't know, Nigel being an MP obviously has a great deal more of information on this than I could possibly have, or it could be something perhaps that he picked up, at Dulwich, which I believe is another Regency college where he went to school. But I mean, it couldn't possibly be anything that would be regarded, unless you're a bit strange, as xenophobic or racist. Unfortunately, Maddie did apparently take this badly, and he put, "Mr. Nigel Farage, I'm sorry that a few words of Arabic can be so triggering." The Lord Mayor did a great job welcoming us with his gesture that cut through the awkwardness and pomp, but I guess welcoming people in Britain is your worst nightmare. No, obviously not. Nigel's worst nightmare is that he'll be exposed as a dreadful fraud. I imagine that sort of would keep him awake sweating at night. And unfortunately, with this, of course, you get the whole bunch of people who, again, get hold of the wrong idea. And unfortunately, the poor guy, now a British citizen in Brighton, has been subjected to, well, quite a lot of nastiness from people that also don't appear to appreciate the Regency splendour that is, the propped up King's portrait. But you would have thought, given everything that Nigel has said, that people would certainly realise that he has nothing against people fully integrating and becoming British citizens. Hooray, what a triumph, eh? Yes, you can only read that one way. I'm very surprised that, people, naysayers, ne'er-do-wells, ne'er-do-gooders, are continuing to have a go at him. I mean, I did unfortunately get a bit of spam email from Democracy from Sale yesterday. There's a link down below if you want to slag them off as well. And they were commenting on the amount of money that the Reform Party is getting and suggesting that in many ways it's less than straightforward, the actual amount of money that they are making, particularly as they're not declaring their membership fees, £25, perfectly reasonable and perfectly justified, as income. And, perhaps suggesting that there's anything wrong with multi-millionaires giving vast amounts of money to spurious British political parties in the hope of regime change in the aid of their own business interests. I mean, I can't believe that any of the people on the list that Democracy for Sale, dead giveaway, mate, we know where you've been sold out to. I can't believe that anybody would actually buy into that notion, or indeed that Nigel Farage would have long-standing ties with people with dodgy business interests whatsoever. Yes, anyway, moving on from that, I thought it was quite intriguing because apparently we are now entering into a phase whereby lots and lots of people are doing things extremely well in terms of the uber wealthy, and it's only right and proper that Nigel, in his capacity as an MP, should represent their interests. After all, these people are job providers and wealth creators. I did like this from the from the Financial Times, luxury goods drive European stocks to the highest levels in a month. Yes, you can see there are a lot of people out there, good, hard-working, ordinary people who happen to be extremely wealthy through their own hard work, obviously, who are, driving up the luxury goods market, which can only be a good thing. And there was a very handy article as well in the FT. You can just look at, if you can sign up for a few freebies with them each month if you want to read these ones from Goldman Sachs chief David Solomon, a man who knows everything about good business integrity and sound financial packages, suggesting that the rich have so much money that there's no real point in floating your spurious ideas on the stock exchange. You just need to go directly to them because there's so much wealth floating around. And I mean, Nigel is right as well on that sort of basis. There's so much money floating around, and all you need to do, of course, is just have a decent business idea. Like, I don't know, let's say a sort of membership scheme whereby people will give you money for doing basically nothing at all. I mean, it works for Nigel. How come it isn't working for you? Well, you're stupid. That's the reason, yeah? That's the issue, isn't it, yeah? There is so much money out there, and you can't expect the wealthy to just sit around with it and not do anything with it. Obviously, they're going to get involved in politics, and it's going to be for your own good. They only have your own best interests at heart. A bit like Nigel and his deep concern for the way that kings' portraits are being propped up, probably a little bit sloppily, let's face it, in British citizenship ceremonies. Yes. Anyway, I'm glad that fact-checking is going. Think of the money that'll save them and the amount of money then that they'll have to invest in new business schemes to make sure that we're all so much better off. Yeah, maybe not, eh? Maybe not.